From Full Moon Features comes the 80s video store. I'm going to say classic. I don't know if this movie's really a classic, but in terms of what I remember seeing on video store shelves endlessly and never renting, that kind of makes it a classic in my memory. Dave DeCoteau's CREEPOZOIDS from 1987. This is a Blu-ray. It is 72 minutes long. It is roughly 178 widescreen, directed, as I said, by Dave DeCoteau, with Richard L. Hawkins, Linnea Quigley, Ken Abraham, and the woman who would go on to become adult film star Ashlyn Gere in as they say, legit role in this film before she went into the adult industry. It is set in a post-nuclear wasteland, 1998, where this band of survivors, semi-militaristic survivors, kind of wander the wasteland through the rubble looking for shelter and safe haven from the acid rain that falls and burns everything, and dodging mutants and looking for supplies and ways to continue living in this horrible post-apocalyptic world. And they stumble upon this abandoned lab, which is just really some kind of industrial space that leads to a set in probably a warehouse or soundstage. And they find that strange experiments had gone on there, not including the use of leaf blowers, apparently, and that there are mutated creatures, CREEPOZOIDS. The titular CREEPOZOIDS are there. So it's kind of slow. It's very talky. Very good practical creature effects, copious nudity in shower scenes, and everything you want in a, barely over an hour late night cable or cheap video rental looking for cheap thrills. Great cover art, by the way, that you just saw. And I don't know that I really liked it all that much, but it was a decent way to pass time. If you're nostalgic for late 80s straight to video stuff, this is going to push all those buttons. If you're a fan of Linnea Quigley, you see all of her, and she is in it throughout. If you're in for some beefcake, there's some of that in there too. It is basically really one limited location, low budget, practical, goopy effects, kind of a riff on Alien, or at that point it would have been Aliens. Fairly weak to me, but if you're a fan of Full Moon and stuff like that, it is what it is. I don't have a lot to say about it because there's really not a heck of a lot to it. Giant rats, if you're into giant practical effects rats, this is the film for you. Looks and sounds great on this release. And I'm presuming that the old VHS release, obviously it was 4:3, I'm presuming that was what we call open matte, which meant, it was intended to be masked off for theaters. And if you don't mask it off for theaters, hey, it fits your 4:3 videotape or NTSC TV signal of the day, fits your 4:3 tube TV, and there's just a little bit more headroom or a little bit more footroom, and hopefully no exposed lights or boom mics. So the extras on this, there's a commentary by director David DeCoteau, which carried over from the 2017 DVD. It's really good. I didn't love the movie, but I found the commentary very entertaining, very honest, and where everything came from, how the whole thing came to be. He talks about how the actress who would go on to be Ashlyn Gere was very adamant about no nudity in the film, and then not long after that, he stumbles across an ad for her in Adult Video News that she's in adult films. There's a photo gallery. It's 2 minutes of behind-the-scenes shots, and then you get trailers for a whole bunch of other Full Moon features, including but not limited to, including, because I listed all of them, CREEPOZOIDS, Ravenwolf Towers, Killjoy, Psycho Circus, Puppet Master 2, Puppet Master 3, Head of the Family, Inspectors. That is a combination of classic Full Moon features releases and ones that they're still cranking them out. So some of those are for brand new films or very recent films, and some of them are ones from 80s and 90s. So who is this for? As I said, if you're into Full Moon features, you probably like this. If you are into 80s cheese and sleaze, you probably like this. If you're into Linnea Quigley, you very much want to watch this. For normal people, I would say probably steer clear because there's really not a lot to this. It really is, I think more about it as the years go by. A lot of 80s films were so similar to films of the 50s, it's not even funny. And this really pretty much is similar to a 50s alien film where people are trapped in a cheap, think of It, the Terror from Beyond Space. People are trapped in a relatively cheap set, sort of one set, one stage, and there's a creature that pops up every once in a while that's trying to get them. They just didn't have a whole lot of nudity or, shower scenes in Linnea Quigley back in the 50s. Anyway, available now on Blu-ray from Full Moon Features.